Hello to all my friends out there. Thank you for watching. This is Lee with Lee's Trees. And today we're working on our Improbable tree. This is our Japanese black pine cutting. And that's right, this is a cutting that we actually got to root. And we'll do a quick turn of it. This is our front here. Going to the left side, to the back, to the right side, coming straight at you, and again back to the front. And it's in this beautiful little Elizabeth Crutenden pot. Unfortunately, because it is such a small pot, we're having issues with that it's falling out. As you can see, it's getting a little big and heavy, and it's drying up pretty fast. So even though it's not necessarily the greatest time of year, it's a little early in the spring, late winter, we're going to go ahead and give it a repot. So we'll get started with that here in just a moment. I'm going to be putting our tree into this wonderful little pot that we got. It's a Sara Rayner pot. We can turn it over for a moment. And I've already set the wire in it, or sorry, not the wire, but the screens. And as you can see, I've got a piece of wire running across and this one to tie it down with. And I believe when I was looking at this side here has got a little bit more of a rougher texture. So that's the one I was going to choose as my front. And I've got my wire in here to tie this down with. She does have a couple of tie down holes that she put in the pot when she made it, but they're right in the center, and we don't put our trees right in the center of the pot. So since we're going to be setting it off to the side a little, this was what I thought would be the best way to try to tie it in, is to work on it like that. Now I've zoomed out a little to make it easier to film this and have everything in frame. And I do not have this tied in, and as you can see, okay, that's the screen. I had a little piece of screen on the bottom there holding it in, or not holding it in, but as cover my drain hole. See if I can carefully pull that piece of screen off. There we go. I'm trying not to damage the roots too terribly much. I am really glad to see that there are quite a few roots in here. Originally only had one small little root that split into two when it actually did produce roots. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to tear something there, unfortunately. We'll tease out the root ball a tiny bit. And I might do a little tiny bit of root pruning just on this little bit. I know they say pines don't like to have their roots messed with. They don't like to be washed. I actually want to take a moment. Okay, yeah, that smells like dirt. When I first pulled it up, it looked a little bit white there. I'm hoping that was the mycelium. That was what was looking white, not some sort of a fungus of any kind, but like I said, it smells like dirt, so that's a good thing. Okay, there's my front end. And I am going back with a different type of a soil mixture. This is the Akadama pumice and lava mixture. Equal parts. Now I do want to have it lean just a tiny bit, not very much, just a little. We might put that in it later. Of course, as it grows and all this gets much heavier, it'll start to lean on its own no matter what. So I'm not going to tie it in very tight, but I do want to tie it in. And rather than cutting off those extra pieces of wire, I'm going to leave them long and push them down to hold the roots down. I've got one root over here, but I can see it was caught in the screen, and you can see I've got a white spot on it where the part was rubbed off. If you hear something scratching, it sounds like I've got a cat wanting to come in here. All right, so. And some people might say that this pot is technically a little bit too big for this tree, but that's okay. I don't plan on repotting it and for the next at least 5 years or more, so that will give it plenty of time to grow in and match the pot. Get just a tiniest little bit more here. And, oops. Even though there wasn't much there, we'll give it a tiny bit of a chopstick just to try and settle things a little bit. Actually, I might want to leave it standing a little bit more straight up. Like I said, as this continues to grow, that will want to bend over. There's no roots out that way, so there we go. Now I did forget one thing, and I want to gently scrape some of the soil off until I can get down to where my roots are. And I have this. I bought this bottle. I was telling you before in another video that I got some of this wild root mycorrhiza. There, now I'll put it, there we go. The wild root concentrated on mycorrhiza. I heard about that from Tom with Clip and Grow Bonsai for Seniors. And I bought a little squeeze bottle. So I'm going to put a little mycorrhiza in there. I wanted to do that and I forgot about it. And now I'll push that soil back over the top. That'll help give those roots a boost in the new soil. And I'll put this in my greenhouse for the next couple of months, or the next month or so. We're still having a few cold temperatures in the evenings and keep it somewhat protected. We'll get back to you here in just a moment. All right, here we go with the final look of our Japanese black pine, our rooted cutting, our improbable tree is what I've been calling it. Again, we're looking at the front. And this time we'll go to the right side first, to the back, to the left side, and back to the front. And again, it's in this wonderful little Sara Rayner pot. I'm going to take it outside, give it a water, and like I said, put it back in the greenhouse for another month or so till the temperatures warm up. Then we can put it back out on the bench. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hope you have a great day.